Hello everyone, Ryan Embry here with the Sweet Spot at the Independent Hotel Show. So happy to have my guest Dina Belon here from Staypineapple. So excited to be here. The energy is here. It's Miami Beach, right, in Florida. Talk to us a little bit about the Independent Hotel Show. I've seen you on stage every single year since the inaugural show here in Miami. What do you expect to get out here? What are the conversations like? What does this show bring for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the independent space is really important. It's a large segment of the hotel business in general, and it's been largely ignored for many, many years, particularly in the convention space. We obviously go to the same conferences that all the branded hotels go to as well, but to have an event that is specific to independents who have unique and different requirements, challenges, and opportunities. So I think it's really fun to be able to talk to my colleagues that also run independent hotels, single hotels, independent brands. There's also a lot of complexity to what's an independent, right? Like, define that.
Sure.
But is it soft, right? Are you going to include soft brands? Are you including independent brands like Staypineapple is? Are you only including independent one-off hotels? It's a really fun, dynamic part of the industry, and I absolutely love this event.
Yeah.
They do a wonderful job bringing really great educational content that's specific to independents, and great suppliers and vendors that are focused on the independent market, which isn't everybody, right? We all know some of the big suppliers in the hotel industry, and they look at independents as just not big enough to really spend time and energy towards. So the suppliers that are here are going to be really interested in any hotelier that walks in the room and wants to talk to them about their product.
You know, and we, over the last couple months leading up to the show, had an independent hotel show series where we were talking to independent hoteliers from all over the country. And I think the one theme that I got out of that series was passion.
Yeah.
And you kind of talked about it. It's a different type of hotelier that is up to the task, up to the challenge, but there's so much passion behind it because it's their little love project, right? I think a lot of that passion can be showed through some of the initiatives that independent hoteliers do, some of the amenities and guest offerings, some of the experiences that you hear about, how this particular hotel was such a different experience than maybe the branded hotel that I went at. And I think those happen every single day at the Staypineapple brand. So for those who might not be familiar, share a little bit about kind of what makes Staypineapple unique and why it's a passion for you, Dina.
Yeah, I mean, I think even the independent brand is similar to independent hotels. So we may have 10 hotels and we may have spent 15 years developing a brand and a product and a point of view that attracts guests to us as a brand, but it's still a passion project, right? And we're owner-operators. And I think that point of view is really the key element, whether you're talking about Staypineapple or you're talking about a purely independent hotel that's a one-off. We really look to develop each of the hotels in their own unique character. We say all the time that the Staypineapple, the brand, sits underneath the hotel and elevates it. It doesn't sit on top of it and demand out of it, right? Really, our common thread between our hotels is service. So we have a very hyper-personalized innkeeper mentality model for all of our hotels. So that's what you're going to experience that's common. What you're not going to experience is the same exact design, the same exact people in the hotel. We lean into very heavily bringing your own authentic self as team members to the hotel. And every single day, the team and the guests create the culture for the hotel for the day, right? And it changes throughout the day. Like, it's got one vibe in the morning, it's got a different vibe in the evening. And we really want that to be, because I think that's what the consumer, that all of us in the independent space are trying to market to, is they want something that feels authentic. And I know that word is so overused, But it is the right word for what we do as independents, is creating a personal, again, you said that, right? It's a passion project. It's very hyper-personalized. It's not just hyper-personalized to the guest. It's all the way through the chain. So it's the owner's vision to the general manager's execution to the front desk team's vibe that they create, right? When you're on the clock, you create a different space and energy than I do. And that's what we want, right? We want that kind of different, unique culture. And I think all of us in the independent space are looking for that. We want that amazing concierge that is always, knows what you want before you even want it. You walk downstairs and they're like, oh my God, I found the best, whatever it is that you're really into last night, and I want to tell you about it.
Yes. And that's what we crave as travelers. I think any place you can look for it where it's right in front of you is guest feedback. It's not talking about the things that are standard across all hotels. It's talking about the things that made their stay unique. And I think that's so important. And obviously, independent hoteliers are in a really unique position to offer that, sometimes a little differently than a brand can.
Well, the brand can't really, right? I mean, and I worked in the brands, and it's a completely different business model, and it's a good business model. It's a business model of standardization and common characteristic. It's a great business model, but it's a different market segment. And the market segment we're in, the guest is looking for something special and unique and about them, not about me, but about them.
Absolutely. And you were talking about bringing the individual flavor to some of your properties. You got properties all over the United States, right? Talk to us a little bit, just a busy travel summer season. Kids are back in school. Things are starting to slow down. People heading down south a little bit more. What are you seeing from some of the markets that you're in? Any noticeable trends right now in travel that you're seeing?
Yeah, we have hotels across the country, from Seattle, San Francisco, San Diego, Chicago, Boston, New York. So west, east, nothing in the south. We definitely want to get something in the south. So anybody out there that knows about good properties down here, I just actually looked at something here in Miami Beach. So for us, the winter time tends to slow down in the northern markets, except in Chicago, which is such an amazing anomaly. We have a hotel right in the Loop, just a couple blocks from the Christmas market.
Okay.
And this holiday season, like starting really around Halloween on into January, is a booming season for that hotel. Everybody comes into the city and wants to shop and be part of the environment in the Loop and, just feel Christmas in the city. And then we have a beautiful hotel in Manhattan, same, right? Like everybody wants to go into the city and feel Christmas and go to a show and stay the night and not have to drive home. So we get a lot of local business into those markets, which is really fun and interesting. And then we do have our southern hotel is San Diego. So west side, it's warm. Yes, how about that?
There you go.
So San Diego does quite well this time of year, which is, I want to go to San Diego because I live in Seattle.
Gotcha. Well, literally a location probably for every market in your portfolio. And, like I said, Dina, I've had the pleasure and privilege of listening to you over these past couple of years on stage, talking with Emily Goldfisher, who we have the honor of interviewing at last year's Independent Hotel Show. And
she's amazing.
Yes, of her hotelier, doing some incredible work there. Kat Woods of the NYCWOH. I'd love to get some advice for maybe some of our young female hospitality professionals. What would be one piece of advice that you would share with them, Dina?
My advice would be lead like a girl. I said it last year at this show for the very first time on stage. It was just happenstance. It just popped out of my mouth. And I've really decided that it's a tagline that encapsulates what I believe as a leader, which is there are so many aspects that are considered socially traditional female characteristics that men and women should utilize in their toolbox. And that's empathy, authenticity. But don't be what you think you should be as a leader. Be who you are and guide your team with authenticity. They will appreciate that. Providing people executive presence, but not a piece of you when you lead, will leave your team feeling flat. And so that's always my best advice is find your strengths, find the things you're great at. Don't worry about the things that are your weaknesses per se, and just lean into who you are and what you're great at, and you'll succeed.
Yeah, I love that. A lot of parallels to, like I said, the independent hotel space and being your authentic self and uniqueness. And that's what makes, this industry and, where we are today so great.
And I think women do particularly well in the independent space. Because we're broad thinkers and independent thinkers a lot. And so I think this is a great place for women to succeed.
Great place to share creativity, absolutely. And really appreciative of hospitality professionals like you taking the time to speak with us on the Sweet Spot today. So Dina, thank you so much. Wish you a fantastic show and hope to run into you again on the circuit.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And thanks for listening to The Sweet Spot.